Okay, hello everyone. I am so delighted to be here. I have been looking forward to this for quite some time and am, as Samira said, it is so special to hear from patients and to hear experiences, and there is something that is uniquely challenging with a rare disease in terms of feeling isolated, feeling alone, and the influence of fellow warriors experiencing, their unique journeys with NMO or MOGAD is one of the most powerful ways to support ourselves and to feel like we aren't alone and to feel like there is hope, because there is so much hope. My name is Taylor Ann Macy. I am an NMOSD patient. I was diagnosed in October of 2019. My diagnosis process was relatively quick. From first symptom to diagnosis, it was a matter of weeks. Unfortunately, it seems like that can be more of the atypical experience, and I'm hoping and very hopeful that tides are shifting, things are changing, and there's so much work that's being done that is helping create a faster diagnosis process to help everyone, feel more advocated for. So where I would like to start is to have everyone introduce themselves, to share when you were diagnosed with your condition and how long it took from symptom to official diagnosis. So Marie, I'm going to hand you the microphone. You can go first.
Hello, my name is Maria Brego. I've had NMOSD for 18 years. It took about 7 months for me to be diagnosed, which was relatively quickly for that time, since they knew very little about NMO. I've had, my first symptom was blindness, and then after that, I've experienced transverse myelitis, and I'm just so happy to be here, and thanks for all of you guys to be here.
Hi, everyone. I'm Adamaris. I was diagnosed within, I think, 2 months with NMO. I was working with Dr. Clardy, who I was really lucky to be with her at the time when I was diagnosed, so mine was relatively quick. I'm 21 years old, and I am an NMO ambassador with Miss Marie.
Yeah. My name is Danielle, and it's just this one. Okay, I'll start again. My name is Danielle, and I am a MOGAD caregiver. Kylie is my daughter, and we have been navigating MOGAD since 2022.
My name is Kylie Jackson. Wait.
She's nervous, guys. Sorry.
That's all right. We're all friends.
We're all friends.
Give it a test. Say hi.
Hi. Okay, my name is Kylie Jackson. I was diagnosed with MOGAD in 2022, and it took 2 weeks.
It was just about 2 weeks.
Wow.
We got really lucky.
That is amazing. I'm really grateful that we have both patients and caregivers up here, because oftentimes in the realm of autoimmunity, it can be referred to as an invisible illness. And I know Esther spoke to this, that most of us will have moments where it might not look like we're dealing with anything. And we all are, whether it's autoimmune disease or otherwise. But what I think is even more important, well, not more important, but what is equally as important to acknowledge is the illness can feel invisible, and also caregiving, I think at times can be even more invisible. The burden that caregivers have can weigh so heavily, and so I'm really excited to have you speak to your experience today, Danielle. We also have a variety here of how long we have had our conditions, and what I would love to know from each of you is how your understanding of your condition has evolved since that first day of diagnosis to now. So Marie, I'll start with you.
So when I was diagnosed back in 2007, I, of course, was young. I didn't know too much about NMO. I didn't even know, if it would go away. Like, of course, I'm young. I'm hoping that it would go away. But I found out it wasn't going away and that I had to be on lifelong immune suppressants. I didn't know a lot about NMO, and my doctor at the time did not tell me about NMO, like symptoms and everything. And now looking back, some symptoms that I had was NMO, and my doctor was telling me at the time it was not NMO. I feel that if I would have been as much as educated as I am now, back then, I believe that I wouldn't be where I'm at now. Well, I'm good now, but I've had to go through a lot. I've had really severe relapses, and I believe that if I could have just been more educated so I can advocate for myself, more educated on NMO so I can advocate for myself, I believe it would have helped me not incur disability. So from when I was diagnosed and to where I'm at now, I am in a much better position, and I just strongly advocate to new patients, please, please, please learn your disease, educate yourself, ask questions, never take no for an answer, and build a great relationship with your doctor, because I believe that it will help you if you're in a position of having a relapse or whatever.
Yeah, Adamara, same question to you. How has your understanding of NMO evolved since you were diagnosed?
Is this working? Okay. When I first had all of my symptoms, of course, I went to Dr. Google and I was like, hey, Dr. Google, how serious is this disease? And at the time, of course, you know, when you're using Dr. Google, it's like, oh my gosh, you have like 4 years to live, good luck. And so I got wrapped up in my head, and luckily Dr. Clardy and her team were able to make sure that that wasn't the case. They really had a good conversation with me and were like, hey, this is the severity of this, but there's lots of hope, lots of light. Leave Dr. Google alone and refer all your questions to us. We're here to help you, of course. And yeah, I feel like over the year, I've been diagnosed for a year now. So over the year, I feel like I've learned a lot with the Samira Foundation and their community, with Dr. Clardy and her team, and just with my peers. They've helped me a lot with just answering the questions that I have, making sure that I'm reassured whenever I have those questions, and again, making sure that I'm staying calm and not overthinking my situation. So I feel like my understanding has definitely grown within that year, thanks to my resources.
That's amazing. Danielle?
So I would say for our situation, when Kylie first was experiencing symptoms, she was 10. So the ability for her to understand, it was beyond anything that, you know, she was able to really process. So I felt the responsibility, of course, as her mom, to inform myself, and I stayed away from Dr. Google. I did not go to Google. I felt Kylie's doctor gave us great resources right from the beginning. We knew that MOGAD was new, rare, there wasn't a lot of information, and initially my husband and I, we just said, we're not going to Google. I think I may have done that one time and typed in MOGAD and it pulled up NMOSD, and I was like, yeah, I'm not. I didn't even read NMOSD because I thought, Danielle, there's your sign, stay off Google. But I feel like the resources that I feel very fortunate that the resources that we've been given literally since day one have been really helpful in just helping our understanding to realize that at the time, particularly, it's changed now, but there was really limited information. And we were treating it just as, how was Kylie presenting? How was she responding to treatment? And I chose to just use Kylie as the information source at that time with the help of her doctor.
Just someone.
Yeah.
Okay. Kind of like what my mom said, when I first got MOGAD, it was like I was kind of confused, but I think that the doctors were very helpful in telling me what was actually going on and stuff.
In simple terms, like in
Yeah.
kids' terms, yeah.
Yeah.
Without scaring you, yeah.
That's incredible. So I think the overall message is don't go to the internet and use that for other awesome things, not for determining a specific diagnosis.
Our foundation page.
I would love to know what you each wish more people understood about NMOSD and MOGAD that perhaps might not be as accessible for people to see or to notice.
So I wish that people would know that you'll have good days and bad days. When you are having a bad day, you need to rest. Of course, first learn your body, know when you're having a bad day, rest, and then go at it when you are feeling good. What you might be able to do one day, you might not be able to do the next day. And don't beat yourself up because of it. There's been days that I can do a lot of things, which I try to sometimes over-challenge myself, and I pay for it. But there's some days that I like when the heat, I cannot stand the heat. There's been days that I've almost passed out because of the heat, and then my body hurts and whatever. And the good thing is that I have a really loving, supporting family, and they understand me. They don't question what I can do today, what I could do, whatever, because what I could do one day, I might not be able to do the next day. But just really learn your body. And of course, if you're having any new symptoms lasting longer than 24 hours is of concern, and you need to either go to the ER or contact your neurologist. Please do not wait, because I will say, when I was first diagnosed, my doctor dismissed my symptoms. Of course, I waited. I thought it was me, and I incurred disability for it. So I just want everyone to know that if one doctor is not listening to you, please, please, please go to the next doctor. Do not take a no for an answer. Learn your body, rest, and always know that you will have a community to support you.
I want to echo that sentiment, and that's why days like this are so special and so important, because oftentimes it can feel extremely difficult to know how to advocate for yourself and how to ensure that you're getting the best care possible. And so to see fellow caregivers and fellow patients, to be able to learn from their wisdom is so important, to know that you are not alone, and that if you aren't getting what you need, there is absolutely another way to be able to get it. Adamara, same question to you. What do you wish people understood about NMOSD?
Yeah, piggybacking right off of Marie, I feel like there's a tendency for people to forget that just because we might not physically show it, mentally some days are more exhausting than others. And it's like a battle within, whether it's like the fatigue or the heat or the cold or just, the infusions, the reactions, all of those things. I wish that people would realize hey, it's something that's going on within. I feel like with my battle, a big thing was I'm at the age where I want to go out and I want to do some things with all my friends and hang out with my family, but some days I'm just a little more tired than others. And I feel like in the beginning it was a struggle to kind of convince people like, hey, I might mentally or I might physically look okay, but mentally I'm just a little more worn out today than I was, or than I might be tomorrow, and that's okay. So I wish there was a little bit more awareness on that.
Well, and I think it's also so special to be able to connect with other patients and caregivers, because you don't understand it unless you've been in it, unless you've been a patient, unless you've been a caregiver or a medical provider of some kind. And when we started this morning, and it was like, there's no judgment, there's nothing off limits. It's so freeing, because where else am I going to talk with Adamaris in the hall and be like, how much vision do you have? I've got this much vision. How much vision do you have? Or like, how is it easy to go to the bathroom? Me too. And it's just, it's a really important thing to be seen. And there is so much nuance to it all that can be difficult, and people might not have the patience for it, but it's important that we first have that patience for ourselves, and then, just educate people around us to help support ourselves. Danielle, same question to you.
Actually, I have something to say real quick. What I also wish that people would understand is, just because they see me in a wheelchair, in a walker, whatever, I wish people would understand, like, hey, I'm young, I like to go out too, I want to do this, but some days I just can't, and I wish that there would be more people willing to, hey, yeah, let's take that annoying walker with us, or let's take it, and not be afraid of my aids. And I feel like sometimes I don't go out as a young girl should, because of course the wheelchair, the walker, but I wish people would just realize that those aids are just crazy aids, and of course we want to throw them over the mountain too. So just realize we're people too, and we want to go have fun, and yeah, and I'll just say, I'm having a blast here in Utah.
I would say for our experience, I think it's important that when you feel like something is off or not right with your body, to just not ignore that. Kylie first started experiencing symptoms on a Saturday, and summer hit. Literally, it was the Saturday after school got out. We were cleaning out our garage, and I thought, well, she's probably being a little bit dramatic. She was having sensitivity to light, and I thought she just wanted to wear my sunglasses. So she took them, was wearing them, and it persisted until Monday, when she just was like, no, something is wrong. And I still sometimes feel really bad about that, not just trusting her, but I'm proud of her for just saying, hey, something's not right here. You need to get me in, you need to take me somewhere. Something's not right. So I think it's important to just be in tune with your body, and when you feel like something is off, she kept voicing that. And just as caregivers, I think it's important for us to honor that, because I was looking at her thinking, well, you look just fine, I thought, like I said, she was possibly just being, preteen, it's the weekend, maybe she's being a little dramatic, and no, something was really wrong. So I think just being willing to voice what's going on, and us to recognize and honor that.
I think it's important to know that there's bad days and good days. There will be some days where you're like, why is this happening to me, and stuff like that. And then there will be days where it's like, okay, I got this. I can get through this and stuff.
Absolutely. Danielle, I have a specific question for you. As we are focusing so much on how to advocate for ourselves as patients, what is one of the more difficult aspects of being a caregiver, and how do you care for yourself throughout the process?
You guys, I'm a crier. I would say one of the most difficult things for me is I'm like Esther on infusion day. Those days are typically kind of rough for Kylie. IV placement isn't always easy. She gets poked a lot sometimes. And that's really hard for me to watch her endure that. It's actually not a celebratory day for Kylie, but it is for me. I'm grateful that she's able to receive the medication and get her body strong. I take care of myself by getting, particularly on infusion day, which I can feel my body tensing up leading up to infusion day, because I never know what's going to happen with her veins. I make sure that once she is set up, I go set myself up. I go to the cafeteria. I still try to get my steps in at the hospital. I have go-to treats at the hospital. The infusion team, they do have really good treats that they offer me, and I say, no, I'm going to go down to the cafeteria and get myself a treat. And I know that she's in good hands. I think it's important to remind myself that that I need to be healthy and strong too, to be able to think clearly and mentally and physically to be able to help her. So I think it's important that we don't get lost on that and hold ourselves accountable for hardships that she might face during down days, like she was just saying she had those. One of them was this morning, guys, coming here, like, why does this have to be me? Why? So I'm glad that Esther spoke and said, why not me? You know, I think that's important. So that would be my...
So beautiful. Thank you. In the spirit of that, I think Esther's illustration of going from why me to why not me is such an encouraging one. And my next question is not to diminish the difficulty of these conditions. I just know that when I was first diagnosed, I didn't think there was any hope. So I asked this question with so much love, but what is something beautiful, wonderful, and positive that have come out of your experiences with these conditions that you might not have expected? I know that diagnosis day for me, I really thought it was the end. I had no hope. It was just so awful. And there are still days like that. And with conditions like this, there will always be days like that. But I would love to hear your thoughts on any bright sides that have come as a result of your diagnosis.
Okay, so a bright side for me is meeting Samira. She has changed my life forever. I am so grateful for her. She gives me hope. She always tells me, like, you can do this. And even there's sometimes I have like crazy ideas or whatever, and I'll text her and I'll be like, Samira, what about this? And I'm sorry sometimes to probably annoy her, but she's always very encouraging. She's inspired me. I've went places that I never thought I would have ever been. And I am just so grateful to be part of this community. The Samira Foundation, TSF, has supported me, has supported my family, has given us resources that we wouldn't have gotten otherwise. Patient days like this brings me and my family hope still, and I'm sure it's doing the same for you guys. And I'm just so grateful to be part of this community. Without NMO, I'm sure my life would have looked different. I'm sure I would have been an attorney by now, but unfortunately, I'm not, and that's okay, because there was other plans for me. I'm here, I'm advocating, I've seen places that I wouldn't have seen otherwise, and I'm just so grateful for the Samira Foundation and for days like this.
Yeah, I would say, wow, there's a lot, honestly. I feel like I try to look at the optimism with the whole NMO journey. The relationships, I feel like my relationships have gotten so much stronger with my family, with my friends, just their support has helped a lot in building a stronger relationship. The unity with the Samira Foundation, with Dr. Clardy's team, I feel like it's helped me change my mindset a lot and look at the brighter side of things, even just with like other things going on in my life. I actually have plans of going into nursing school, and so I feel like it gave me an opportunity to see, okay, this is what the patient side is going to be like. So it just, again, gives me empathy, optimism, yeah.
Okay, I think one of the bright sides is that my diagnosis hasn't stopped me from like doing the things that I love. Like I can still like hang out with friends, I can still do cheerleading, and I can do all the fun things.
Amazing. In the spirit of that, I would love to ask each of you if you could go back into that room when you were told you have this condition, and you could just be with yourself in that moment. I would love to know what you would say. And Danielle, in your perspective as a caregiver, I would love to know everybody's thoughts on what they would say to themselves sitting in that room on that diagnosis day. Maria, I'll start with you.
So I don't know what I would have said to myself, because when my doctor told me, she actually had, so it was me, the doctor, a translator, and my dad. And she told me, like, you have NMO, and she just grabbed her face and started crying. And like the translator told my dad, and I mean, I'm sure his eyes kind of watered up too. Well, my dad's eyes kind of watered up too. And me, I told the doctor, I knew I had something. Thank you for telling me. But at that time, I didn't know and I didn't comprehend like how severe it was. And if I would have known how severe it was, I would have asked her to give me more information and give me resources, kind of like how the Smart Foundation now is giving pamphlets out to these doctors' office to get patients to get a community and really meet other people with these conditions so you can help each other out. So I don't know what I would really say, but I would have really wanted resources, because I was living alone with this diagnosis for 11 years. So I was paralyzed and I didn't know what to do because I was laying in bed and didn't know who to call and everything. So I really don't know what I would have said, but I would have want resources and a community to go to.
Wow, that's a great question. Definitely don't go to Dr. Google is what I would have told myself. I think I would just tell myself, you know, it seems like it's going to be a long journey. And it was, but just be patient with yourself. And just, you're going to be okay, you know? Don't overthink. Don't stress yourself out. Just, you'll be okay.
If I'm being honest, for me, I was completely broken, devastated. This is my child. She, like I said, she was 10. She had big plans. Kylie is full of life and energy, and it was this rare moment in time where she was not herself. She was not full of life and energy, and I was completely devastated. But what I would tell myself is, you're going to be okay. You have all the tools you need to help Kylie navigate everything that's about to happen. You guys are in really good hands. I remind Kylie all the time, there's a few people that I follow on the socials who live a life experiencing MOGAD, and I'm so grateful that we fell right into the hands that we did. Sorry. Kylie has an exceptional care team. They care about her, her mental health, along with her physical health. I can't put a price on that. So I would tell myself, you got this.
For me, I'm not even gonna lie, that was like a really hard day, but because I thought like people would make fun of me for it, but I'd probably tell myself that it's gonna be okay and that I can get through it.
I love that. Thank you. With our final few minutes, I would love to open up to the audience if anyone has questions for our panelists. I, similar to Haley, have many more that I could ask, but I want to give our audience the chance to pose any questions, should there be any. As you're thinking, I was thinking what I would answer to my own question, and I'm not entirely sure, but what came to mind first was I have 2 young kids, and the way that I explain it to them, I think is something that I wish I could have given to myself in that doctor's office that day, where there's no diminishing of how difficult it is and how serious it is, but there's also a very present strength in saying, we're going to be okay. And as I talk to my kids, I can say, you know, mommy has an owie, and she's also really super strong, and she's going to be okay. And we've got all the things we need to figure this out, even when the days are hard. And it's something that I like to remind myself, that we are continually having those conversations with ourselves, whether it's, you know, looking back to the day we're diagnosed or sitting on this stage right now. It's an important part of the mental health aspect to be able to acknowledge how difficult things can be, and then to remind yourself, and we're going to be okay. We're so much stronger than we have even any idea of. And that definitely has been one of my bright sides to living with this disease is not only the connections and the friendships that are so much deeper, because it's a club I never thought I would be a part of, but the empathy is so deep, but just to really to stretch myself to see what I'm capable of, and what I'm capable of overcoming has been a really powerful thing. So for that, I am grateful for NMO and, you know, for rare diseases, and I'm especially grateful to Samira for soldiering on, even on the hard days, because without her, I certainly wouldn't have as much hope. So before I close, would anyone like to ask our wonderful panelists any questions?
Can I piggyback right off you, Taylor?
Please.
I feel like the question that you asked earlier was, what's the bright side of this whole journey? And I mean, this is the bright side, you know, the awareness, each of us being able to share our different story, and, you know, how it impacted us, and hopefully, you know, if whoever is going through it gets to see, like, you're not alone, we're all here with you, and there is light, and that there is hope.
Yes, I love that so much. Do any of our panelists have any final thoughts to offer?
How old are you,
Kylie, how old are you?
13.
13.
8th grade?
Yeah.
Amazing.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a nail tech.
Okay.
Yeah.
Show them your nails.
I know Sumaira texted me and said, where do I get my nails done in Salt Lake? I should have said, go to Riley. She'll do it. All right. Well, with that, we can. Oh, sure.
We got a question.
Yes, Esther.
Here, we're going to get a mic for Esther. This question is for Kylie. I know you have very supportive parents and your mom. Do you ever feel sometimes you're a burden to them because of this disease? Or how do you handle that or navigate through all of that? Wherein you don't want to put so much of a burden, but also let them know what you're going through.
That's a great question.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's okay. Yeah, sometimes I feel like a burden because they have to, like, go through all these things with me, but
We get to.
they get to, but it's okay. Yeah.
I have a question, because I always do. Thank you so much for sharing your stories. I talk a lot about mental health, and I asked Esther this question too. What is a quick, I know we're probably running out of time, what's something that each of you do to fortify your own mental health?
Great question. I'll pass it to you, Marie, to answer that.
So I just try to live my life. Like, however, whatever I feel like to do in the moment, I just feel like doing it. And the great thing is that I have a loving, supporting family, and if it's crazy, it's okay. They roll with it. So that's the good thing. They never tell me no. They never, there's some days that I'm cooking, and my dad's like, don't be doing that. Let me do that for you. I'm like, Dad, I'm good. I'm not gonna cut myself. I promise. And I go and I chop whatever vegetables, meats, whatever, and they let me live my life. So I think them not stopping me, them rolling with my crazy thoughts, helped me be like who I am. And I'm so grateful for my family. And, I do have a couple of friends that will let me be my crazy self, and that's what helps me get through.
Yeah, I typically go to my family when I feel like I'm just needing that extra pick-me-up, and just distract myself with things that I like to do, like shopping.
That's the best. For me, it's thinking about like the positive stuff, and my dog, yeah, and just doing the things that are fun for me.
Fabulous. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate all of these panelists up here for sharing their wisdom with us. There's so much power in this community and in this relationship that we can have with one another. So I'm grateful for the chance that I have to be up here with these wonderful people. I can have us close, and I believe it is break time.